Dynamite was a terrible, terrible, but not a very good go-home show to their biggest show of the year, to say the least. Anyways, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode of LucasEAllen on YouTube and all audio platforms, LucasEAllen Show. It's your AEW Dynamite, aka Dynamite, August 26, 2026 review. Like I said, in today's episode, LucasEAllen on YouTube and all audio platforms, LucasEAllen Show. Anyways, for y'all watching the content on YouTube channel, so hit the like button in today's episode of LucasEAllen on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you've done so already, and turn on the bell for post notifications so you don't miss an upload for our YouTube channel. And always, feel free to leave a comment as well. I get my AEW Dynamite, aka Dynamite, August 26, 2026 review, to say the least. While I was watching on Spotify, you can do the same thing. Give me a comment and also a 5-star rating. It'd be very nice as well, to say the least. Yeah, this show is not very good, dude. This show is not very good, in all honesty. And also follow me on social media, XS, and Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah, this show is not good. Let's just call it for what it is. This show is not freaking good at all. There was one thing that was a B, everything else was either a B minus, if not lower. Fucking just it's wrestling heavy. There's plenty of wrestling coming this Sunday. Comes to AEW All In 2026 in Wembley Stadium. Should be a fine show, but holy shit, man. The segments and the matches on this show meant nothing, minus none of them meant anything. Well, like one segment, I mean anything to begin with either. But still, man, this show is not very good, in all honesty. I'm discussing it obviously right now. So anyway, Dynamite kicked off with Will Ospreay heading into the ring to talk about his upcoming World Championship match against Kenny Omega, the reigning defending AEW Men's World Champion, on Sunday at All In 2026. He talked a bit about his journey from knee to neck surgery to fighting for the most important title in AEW history, or AEW at Wembley Stadium. He also reflected on cutting his teeth in the business in the United Kingdom, which was something, honestly, but still. He said nobody respects Kenny Omega more than he does, but it all went out the window when a moment Kenny mentioned Will's son in their exchanges on, obviously, last week's segment. The promo ended with anyone interrupting him, which was probably the right call and stuff like that, in all honesty. This gets a C+. This gets a C+. Nothing like any, and I'll be honest with this shit, honestly. If for once they start with something different, for like a promo segment now, and not just a match now. You see, it's the complete opposite show from Monday Night Raw. Usually we should formulate segment to start off the Raw show, and Diamond usually start off with matches. Well, this week we got at least a promo segment starting the show. I thought, to be frank, to think it'd change a little bit, honestly. Not that this promo segment meant nothing in the grand scheme of things. Nobody interrupted him. Nothing about Kenny Omega on the show, which is freaking stupid. No, your AEW Men's World Champion was nowhere to be seen on the show for your go-home addition to your biggest show of the year in AEW All In. That is simply unacceptable for Tony Khan. So that's simply unacceptable. This gets a C+. It was a segment, to say the least. Nothing else to it at all. This Dynamite show will be probably pretty quick, honestly. Nothing happened on this show that was meaningful. Minus some Continental Cup challenges, anyone freaking gives a shit about that either, but still. Speaking of the Continental Champion, AEW reigning defending AEW World Continental Champion, Jon Moxley, defeated Claudio Castagnoli to move on to the finals in the Continental Cup Challenge. Another C+. And by the way, once we get into the later stages of this review, you don't even believe who freaking qualified for the other set of the finals. I'm like, oh my god, but they really gonna do Nigel McGuinness, where that's the guy who actually qualified. Are they really gonna do Nigel McGuinness win the Continental Championship against Jon Moxley, of all people that end Moxley's Continental Championship reign? Being Nigel fucking McGuinness be freaking kind of stupid, honestly. It'll be stupid. I don't care if Nigel is one of the most beloved wrestlers in wrestling today. I don't care. I really don't care, brother. I really don't care. This was a match. So it was a match. The user report gave us a B plus. And I mean, like, what are you smoking, dude? This ain't no B plus grade. Maybe a B minus if that'd be generous. I'm not generous to give it a C plus, dude. Nah, I wouldn't say it was a B plus worthy match in all honesty, people. Not even close. C plus is your fucking grade. Tomorrow, go get this, ladies and gentlemen. Kende Coexist Trios match, pal. The Young Bucks and Adam Copeland defeat the Don Callis family. Originally gave us a C. I'm actually going to change it to a C minus. C minus. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think I pay attention to iota of a fuck about this match with the Don Callis family members, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind, dude. Most is not all of this this bill for the AEW World Tag Team Championship match, Young Bucks and Copeland Cage, or nothing but can they coexist, pal? Vince McMahon, good old booking, man. Unbelievable, dude. Can they coexist storyline here, pal? That's what feud's been about, mostly. Besides the fact that obviously Young Bucks, also want to beat the guys like Copeland and Christian, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But at least develop that story. By the way, speaking of good old tag teams of all time, I'm going to discuss this briefly here before I discuss it inevitably, hopefully, an All In. Right before it. The New Day, where it's supposed to be debuting at All In. I mean, Lucas, this sounds great, right? It does sound great in hindsight, but it might be on the freaking pre-show. Yeah. It could really see, it could happen, like, I heard it's like this trios bout, it's gonna be like a multi teams and stuff like that, which I don't give a shit about. Unless it's like the New Day and Swerve, maybe a good trio and stuff like that, but if I'm honestly. Even now, you really have the New Day being a trios division at the tag team division to first start off. Doesn't that seem kind of underwhelming to you people? I know it does to me, honestly, but still. Yeah, New Day might have a chance to be debuting the freaking pre-show. What a slap in the face with those guys. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's just speculation. I'm not saying it's always confirmed and stuff like that. It's not confirmed at all. It's just speculation at this rate, because the trios thing is starting to All In and pre-show and then going to All In main card. So you're more stupid to begin with, too, nonetheless, too. But it's a different conversation for another day. I don't know if I got that because I got interested in this trios. Not really interested in this trios match, but still. I got into the topic because there's a trios match on this show. Oh boy, yippee, skippy, I don't give a fuck, Biggie. Not Biggie, but still, you get the point. See, mice, you're freaking great. If you think I pay attention to iota or fuck about this match, you're out of your freaking mind. Moving on. Andrade El Idolo, the best thing on the show, not to say it's a great per se, this is technically the best grade in the show. Andrade El Idolo, the reigning defending AEW National Champion. National Champion, not International Champion. This would be by Kyle Fletcher, obviously. Andrade's music hit for a scheduled promo, but MJF ended up coming out instead. He insulted the Scottish crowd before saying he hired a couple of guys to beat up Andrade before All In. He talked about how he can do everything El Idolo can do, but he can do it better. He tried to take a picture with a fan in the front row, but she looked disgusted. There you go. That was kind of hilarious. That's why it was a big grade, honestly, but still. El Idolo eventually showed up as the crowd attacked and attacked his All-In opponents. The national champion sent MJF retreating up in the ramp to end the segment. Kind of the best thing in the show because of that fan exchange, honestly. That is sad. Your best thing on your show is a short little segment that MJF taking a picture with a girl in the crowd. That was the best thing on this show, people. That is the best thing on your show. This is a B. I'm not saying it's like a B plus or better grade. Just proves sure how not good Dynamite was this week. For a go-home edition for All In 2026. Usually you've seen on WWE side, we usually all go-home shows, at least Raw and SmackDown, not good either for these pay-per-views and PLEs. That's one thing. But at least like the biggest show of the year for AEW, I mean All In 2026, you don't seem to do anything good on your go-home show. Just like World Wrestling Entertainment WWE does in their go-home shows, their PLEs and stuff like that. This all-in bill has not been great, honestly. Minus like Mercedes Moné, Will Nightingale, my girl Mercedes Moné, and Will Nightingale. Maybe like something different, maybe like an international championship match would be fun as well. Or those two things. Maybe Omega and Ospreay is gonna be a fun match on paper, obviously. But their builds, let's be real, ladies and gentlemen, their build sucked. It sucked. It sucked, man. What do you want me to say? Minus the one segment they had. And like the interview stuff, let's say at least. Everything else has not been good with this World Championship build. With so much already made by Mercedes and Willow, that has much more history involved in the World Championship season than is just Omega and Ospreay. Sorry, not sorry. But this segment gets a B with MJF and Andrade El Idolo. Oh my god, I'm moving on to more fucking bullshit. Nigel McGuinness, nothing to do with him, he's a great commentator. Nigel McGuinness defeats Kyle O'Reilly in the semifinals of the Continental Cup Challenge. This, my friends, is an overall grade of C-. Whereas it gave us a big fat C, but I decided to give it a C- because I feel like to. Nigel McGuinness in a big year 2026 should not be wrestling for any championship. I don't care if he's a part-time wrestler, I don't care if he's a full-time wrestler. This guy has been on Collision commentary. And last week he beat your CMLL World Champion. Via, technically into submission, but honestly it was a pass out, but still. Like, that's simply unacceptable, dude. I don't care. I don't care what you say, people. No, but I'm not interested in 1 ounce of a fuck about Nigel McGuinness and Jon Moxley for All-In. I don't care how good the match will be. Good old sickos defend us like no tomorrow. I don't care. You're coming to the wrong freaking channel and wrong podcast to discuss about that. This is completely ridiculous. Jon Moxley won the AEW All-In 2025 last year in the main event as world champion. I'm not saying you should 2 years in a row. You won here last year's world champion against the biggest storyline in the company, technically, at that point. They took sort of almost dog shit, but still. And then this year, he's in the middle of the show against Nigel fucking McGuinness. How does that make any sense to you people out there? You good old AEW sickos out there. How does that make any sense to you people? How can you realistically defend that? I know I can't. I know I can't. Freaking ridiculous, man. This gets a C-. Now we're getting Moxley and Nigel McGuinness for the Continental Championship at All-In. Unbelievable, dude. This show is freaking terrible this week, to say at least. I'm looking forward to All-In, don't get me wrong, people. All-In's like the second biggest show of the year. We're going to count that with SummerSlam, but still. This gets a C- in all honesty. I don't care about your good old bangers, dude. I don't care about that shit at all. Sorry, not sorry. This is your go-home addition to your biggest show of the year, Tony. This is simply unacceptable to say at least. To more trios action. Women's match on this show, nonetheless. Persephone and Divine Dominion, Megan Bain, Lena Cross, reign defend AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. Defeat Maya World took the pinfall in this match. Reign defend AEW TBS Champion, being that defend champion. And the Braun Birch, Alex Windsor, and Jamie Hayter. Gia Wonders win at the pay-per-view. Or when All-In, meet Megan Bain, Lena Cross, or Divine, or Braun Birch. Yeah, I'm joking, because we need a Braun Birch. Not even just because in Wembley Stadium, their hometown, London, obviously, or at least where Jamie Hayter's from. I mean, Alex Windsor there too, honestly. Not even just that. It's just the fact that this built this moment. This is why Divine Dominion won a tag team championship from Harley Cameron Nightingale all those months ago. To get to this moment, All-In. I personally would be as champions the rest of the year, but still. I can't get played about Jamie and Alex, especially Jamie being a champion, stuff like that as an A++ decision, it's tag team titles, but still. This gets to a big fat C. And Persephone cheats to beat Maya World and be letting me pin your TBS champion nonetheless. What is that booking there, Tony Khan? What kind of booking is that, dude? And he had Maya World would challenge Will Nightingale for the AEW Women's World Championship last week on Collision, nonetheless, and she lost then too. And she lost a pinfall here in a 6-woman tag match, a trios match. It's unbelievable. What are we doing here, Tony? I don't get that honesty. It's a big fat C on honesty. It's your second best thing to show. It's not the great per se. It's your main event here. Swerve Strickland defeats Jack Perry in the main event. This gets a B-. Decent main event. You think I cared about your Swerve Strickland and Jack Perry match? Main event, your Go Home edition for All In 2026, your biggest show of the year, Tony. You gotta be out of your mind. It was a decent match, so I'll give you that's why it's a B-, not technically a C+ or lower. But if you think I really cared about this match, so I'm sorry to tell you, I did not care. I did not care. It was decent per se, but still. I cannot care for a Jack Perry main event match in Dynamite before your Go Home edition for All In 2026. Sorry, not sorry. This gets a B- to say the least. Ash Yoro Sugar for AEW Dynamite, aka Dynamite. August 26, 2026 review is a C+. Not a good show whatsoever from Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling AEW. That is your AEW Dynamite, aka Dynamite, August 26, 2026 review and taped episode of Sadie's XRs on YouTube. And all audio platforms of Sadie's XR, or the LucasEAllen show, almost as Sadie's XRs. I'm still getting used to that, to say the least. And always, if you like the content, the like button, take the episode of LucasEAllen on YouTube, watch on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you've done so already, and turn the bell for our post notifications so you don't miss an upload for our YouTube channel. And always, feel free to leave a comment as well. Like my AEW Dynamite, aka Dynamite, August 26, 2026 review, to say the least. Watch on Spotify, do the same thing, leave me a comment, and also a 5-star rating. Be very nice as well, to say the least. And always follow me on social media, Sadie's XStars on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. And by the way, before I get off this week's Dynamite, I don't know if we'll be reviewing SmackDown and stuff like that. I probably will be on Saturday. But I'm not getting a lot of content. I gotta do SmackDown and All In 2026 review. I'm gonna do predictions too for Friday too for All In, to say the least. But it's not gonna be much content, so we can other than that. We can get predictions for All In, the review obviously for on Monday, and also SmackDown for hopefully Saturday. Hopefully, knock on wood. The reason why I say it because I'm probably out with no freaking internet. I'm sorry, people. This is completely terrible timing for 2 show pay-per-views and PLEs in a row. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, so until next time, trust me next time, everybody. Peace, everybody. I'm out here. Love, big time, and say absolutely, ladies and gentlemen.